Hello, BSC6003 students. Dr. Conway here for lesson 4. This will be a short video because in this week I just want you to go through the business cases, the examples of business cases, and make a few observations. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit now about the types of observations I would like you to be sensitive to when you go through the material. And then we have our Zoom call on Tuesday where we can pick up any questions related to your part 1 of your business cases and any other questions related to lectures, obviously. All right, so let's get started. So today, in the reading material, you have a series of companies that have done business cases or have made their own internal business case decisions about how aggressively to go into green energy and energy solutions that are more efficient and cleaner energy solutions. This week I want you to spend more time thinking about those issues that are not necessarily issues related to the financial aspects, because the financial aspects will be carrying on with as we go through the term, okay? Instead, I want you to focus on some of the general observations that I'm going to mention to you now. When you're reading the business cases, the things I want you to focus on is where each of the business cases speaks to their statement of opportunity or problem. What is it that they're trying to address in doing cleaner energy or more energy efficient solutions, and how are they defining that problem? How are they defining the opportunity? How are they defining the problem? And keep in mind, when you're doing that, when you're defining an opportunity or a problem in a business case, you're doing so in a way that's influential with the decision makers that will be seeing your business case. Now keep in mind that the decision makers that you'll be dealing with 99 times out of 100 will not be energy management experts. They will not be people who will understand all the technical aspects of energy management, okay? So they're people you need to convince with a language that they understand, with a set of objectives that they understand, okay? And then you need to phrase your opportunity or a problem that can be fixed, or an opportunity that can be pursued, or both, in any business case, is coined in a language that they can fully understand and they can get fully engaged with. Because keep in mind that these people are people who will be seeing the broad strategic objectives of the company, will be seeing, other strategic considerations with respect to dealing with government on greenhouse gas mitigation, dealing with other stakeholders. So the language you use cannot be technical energy speak. It must be in a language that relates to the dialogue that your decision makers are having about environment, about economic efficiency, about competition. Whatever the high note is for that organization at any given time is what you need to tie your energy management business case to, okay? To show how your energy management business case fits into advancing those opportunities or solving those problems, okay? Then I also want you to observe how well they talk about, the proposed action that they're going to take, and how they do that in such a way that it's not energy speak. The action can be understood by the educated layperson who understands the significance of what your opportunity is, or what the problem you're trying to resolve. They understand it in a language that makes sense to them. If it's the controller's department, they understand it in terms of resources that can be saved and reinvested as the other ways. If you're dealing with your marketing manager, your VP of marketing, he or she is interested in the dialogue that gives them with their stakeholders with respect to being a green, responsible company, and these kinds of things, okay? So you have to think about who you're communicating with when you build your business case, and make sure that you're flagging issues that are dear to their day-to-day concerns or other broader strategic concerns, okay? And then In doing that, you're also going to go down to even a finer level of looking at how the proposal fits with specific corporate objectives. For example, if you're working in a clinic and one of the corporate objectives of that clinic is they need to modernize their equipment, well, tying your energy management savings to that objective is a really key thing to do. For example, if we could save 20% per annum on energy, that's $400,000. $400,000 could then be diverted to the equipment purchasing or the technology purchasing fund or something like that. So that's at a different level of corporate objectives, okay? And linking that and energy and environmental activities that you're doing to those corporate objectives is what makes a successful business case. If you have a bunch of energy speak and it's stuck over here and your corporate guys are thinking about over here, they're going to read your business case and they're going to say, well, I don't really understand how this fits to what it is we're trying to achieve. So let's just set that aside for another year. And that's the problem that you'll encounter if you don't learn how to write the way some of these people are writing in the case studies that I've given you for this week's reading, okay? Then I want you to look at flagging the non-financial advantages and disadvantages, okay? By that I mean, I know that one of the principal objectives that we have is cost savings, right? But there are a whole bunch of other things out there, okay, that bring value to an energy management business case. One is obviously, in this day and age of fighting climate change, is reducing carbon emissions. Obviously, a really key consideration, given that, you know, a lot of governments are going to be coming under increasing pressure to do something to achieve their Paris commitments, okay? So, you know, that's an issue now in energy management you cannot avoid, okay? It's impossible to be a credible energy manager these days and not understand the need for greenhouse gas mitigation, how we can monetize those greenhouse gas reductions, how we can trade on those greenhouse gas reductions in terms of our corporate brand, in terms of our stakeholder support and engagement, and all of those kinds of things. And that's why you see large companies partnering with NGOs, environmental NGOs, and doing other things and broadcasting that they want to be a net zero company by such and such a date, like Maple Leaf Foods here in Canada. And there are going to be many, many other companies coming on stream with this concept of being net zero. So if you're in energy management in this kind of an environment, speaking purely from the fact that, oh, we'll save $10,000 a month on energy bills is important, but it's inadequate, okay? You need to be able to think about these other benefits. Now, often we can't monetize all those benefits in the case, in a financial business case, but we can flag them, we can point them out, we can engage with our marketing department to see, well, how would we place a value on this? For example, how much advertising budget did you use last year? Okay, and how could we make that more effective? Oh, you spent $300,000 last year on marketing. Well, what would happen if we added this green dynamic to it? Would we get more mileage out of our $300,000? Would we be able to engage people in a different way, more effective? What are our competitors doing? Are they being more effective because they're linking it to cleaner energy and all this kind of stuff? And you can begin to monetize these things, or at least give a monetary range of benefit for the decision maker to understand what's going on, okay? So look at how they're characterizing that in these business cases, all right? Look at how they're spinning it, all right, to convey a powerful business case message. Because a business case is not just about the financial bottom line. It's not just about the NPV or the internal rate of return number you get as a summative statistic at the end of the business case. It's not just that, because there are all kinds of other investments that might be able to return an equal amount of an NPV or an equal amount of an IRR or even better NPV and IRR. So to make your business case more competitive, you need to draw in these other benefits, okay? Because there are enormous benefits, particularly when we get into this, like I say, battling the climate change issues, okay? Also look in business cases of how they're dealing with risk and risk mitigation strategies. And risk mitigation is not just disruption of operations because you're doing an energy conversion or something like that. Risk mitigation is also what happens if we do nothing? What happens if we become less effective? than our competitors in energy efficiency? What happens if the government comes down with even stricter provisions and we're not for greenhouse gases and we're not ready? All of these kinds of things fit into that risk and risk mitigation strategy. So when you're reading the business cases, look at that aspect also. All right. And then look at how they describe, if they're involved in describing technology, look at how they describe it in a way that lay people can understand. They're not getting bogged down in avoiding in technical energy speak. Okay, they're not glazing people's eyes over with unnecessary technical detail that the financial decision maker, or the strategic decision maker, or the marketing decision maker within a company doesn't need to understand. What they need to understand is that this is what's going to happen if we do this technology. This is the type of results that we can expect. This is how it's going to advance corporate objectives. This is how it's going to advance broader strategic considerations for the company. Okay? So I want you to draw, get a feel for the language that they use, because that's the language I want you to use in your business case. I want you to think about, how do I make this sophisticated to convey enough information to convey the financial benefits, but also the other benefits that we're talking about, reducing carbon, corporate brand, stakeholder outreach, that kind of stuff. And yet, and conveys all the message they need, enough information that they need to make a decision to go ahead without bogging them down in so much detail that they're uncertain about you. Because why is this person speaking in these such technical details? Are they insecure about it? Are they unclear as to how it's going to work? Are they just convincing themselves how it's going to work? No. Confident writing at an educated layperson's level of technical detail, focusing on these high points. Now watch how these business cases describe these things, and draw a sense of the tone that I want in your business cases from those examples. Okay? On that, I'll wrap up. We'll talk to you tomorrow on your Zoom call. Be prepared to come asking any questions about part 1 of your deliverable, or any other matters that are of concern to you at this stage in the course. Okay? Have a good day, gang. Talk to you on Tuesday. Bye-bye now.